Are you ready?
Maybe you would know he's the guy who
Good evening. This meeting of the Jefferson County Board will now come to order. Roll call, please. Plant flat. I'm gonna try now.
Okay, we have 26 present and 4 absent.
Thank you. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Corporation Council Board, would you please lead us?
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're invited to remain standing for a moment to contemplate our service to the public. Thank you. Are we in compliance with open meeting law?
We're in compliance.
Next is approval of the agenda. Would anybody like the order of the agenda altered in any way? Okay, we'll proceed as printed. Next is a special order of business, a presentation of the Jefferson County Fairest of the Fair. Libby Knabel should be introduced by our Fair Park Director, Amy Lissel.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Listel, the Jefferson County Fair Park Director. Thanks for having us tonight. Tomorrow we kick off our 167th Jefferson County Fair. So that will run tomorrow through Sunday. And we have 5 jam-packed days of entertainment and fun. So we hope that you all stop out at some point and join us. Tractor pulls, truck pull, demo derby, 2 awesome country concerts Friday night. We have Colin Ray, Aaron Tippin, and Sammy Kershaw. And Saturday night we have Walker Hayes and Drake White coming to the Jefferson County Fair. So we're very excited for those. And we also have 3 awesome family shows this year. Sea Lion Splash is back. They were with us last year. They came back this year and they have a whole new setup. So we're really excited for that. And we have a new acrobat show called Cirque Extreme and a new dog show called Disconnected Canines, and they have a bunch of dogs with them, rescue dogs, and they do frisbee tricks. So we're excited for that. I'm also very proud to introduce Libby Knabel, our 2019 Fairest of the Fair. Libby was crowned last year at the fair on Sunday, and now she reigns this year. She's been helping us the entire year to promote the fair, and she's also getting ready to compete this coming January for the state fairest of the fair, which if she were to win that competition, she would be the Wisconsin state fairest of the fair next summer. So we're looking forward to Libby's future helping us promote the fair industry. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. Like Amy said, my name is Libby Knabel, and I'm the 2019 Jefferson County Fairest of the Fair. Some of you might know me as a little girl who lives out in Helenville running Jelly's Market with my parents. So that's where I grew up. I went to school in Jefferson, graduated in 2016, and I will be a senior this fall at UW River Falls. Working towards a double major in animal science and dairy science. Science option in both of those. I don't know exactly where my future is going to take me. I know somehow, some way I'm going to work with animals. I have an internship this summer with United Cooperative in Beaver Dam, working with feed and stuff like that. So trying to see if maybe that's something I want to do, or if not, I guess that's the point of an internship, to see if you like it or if you don't. So that's basically my plans. Upon graduation, we'll see where life takes me, but it has been a fantastic year with this title. I will be sad to see my crown go. And as some of you have heard, we don't actually have any contestants, since there's nobody else with me tonight, which I was here last year at the meeting as a contestant, but we don't have any, so we're going to change it up a little bit and do a spring gala and banquet in February. So we're going to change it up and crown for 2020 then. So hopefully we can find some people who would be interested in doing it that way. But again, thank you so much for your time. I hope I can see some of you out at the fair this week. I'm really excited to work with the exhibitors and promote the fair this year. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next is approval of the June 11th, 2019 meeting minutes. Supervisor Renard, please.
I move approval of the minutes as presented.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The minutes are approved. Next is communications.
Okay, you have the treasurer's report, which is a green sheet on your desk. And then we also have a list of temporary committee appointments that Chairman Schrader has made to the Law Enforcement and Emergency Management Committee. Russell Coots, Augie Teets, and Steve Nass. And that is it for now.
Okay, by way of explanation, we did not have a quorum available for the emergency management and committee, so we had a one meeting temporary appointments made. We also have retirement recognitions.
Good evening. If you've seen me run back and forth there, about every 5 minutes, the breaker oversurges and the air conditioners behind you go out. So when I leave, somebody's going to have to do that. And if you're timing it and it's closer, let's hope it's not like, going in labor and everything's going to go out on you. So there is a way back there to turn that on, and you guys might want to keep that going for you. But the reason I'm up here tonight is to announce that we have 8 retirees in the last quarter. We have 3 of them here tonight that I'm going to ask to step forward in a moment, but I want to cover the others first if I can. The first is Julie Gianni. She was with the county just a little over 7 years in the Register of Deeds office. William Hartwig was our lead custodian over at Human Services for about 6.5 years. Dawn Brents was over at Human Services as a protective payee for over 19 years. Of course, Barb Frank, she said, I think I've had enough recognition for 1 year. She declined to come tonight, but she was with the county for 38 years. And then Deputy David Drana was with the Sheriff's Department for 28 years. And with that, I would like to announce the other 3 individuals and have them come forward. The first is Sharon Earhart, who's in our zoning office for a little bit over 18 years as our solid waste and clean sweep specialist. And I'm going to ask Dick Schultz, who, did he run out on me? Oh, he's right there. To come forward and say a few words as the chair of our solid waste committee.
Sharon, I have bad news for you. The Solid Waste and Air Quality Committee voted to deny your retirement. So you're not going to retire. So no. When I was asked before the meeting if I would say a few words, I was more than happy to. Sharon was more than an employee of the county. She had a passion for what she did. And I think we're probably still going to see her involved in some way, shape, or form. I'd be surprised if we didn't. She truly believed in what she was doing and worked very hard at it. And I was told that when I first joined the committee by Don Reese. And one of the things Donnie said was, "You're going to like her." And he was right. I think we're going to be okay, but we are going to miss Sharon. She has done a very good job and has done it very enthusiastically. Now, Terry said I couldn't talk for 30 minutes, that's why I was playing. So, I'd like to present this to Sharon. Thank you. All of you.
Thank you. Then I'm going to ask the sheriff to come forward for our last two retirees. And ask if Deputy Lori Hogan would please come forward.
I have to be honest with you, when I was presenting Lori's plaque at the sheriff's office, I was actually getting choked up. We're not going to do that tonight. Honestly, it's been, you can tell Lori's gone because Lori's sense of humor is already missed. She made me laugh tonight. She says, "What are we down, like 10, 15 people?" And I says, "No, we're just down 8. She goes, "Well, no, I was like 2. She reminded me of her importance. But Lori was quite important. Lori started out in the jail. She was a patrol deputy. Lori worked in our major accident investigation team. Very good at that. We're so glad she stayed with that. But one of the things, and Lori was involved with our honor guard, but one of the things I guess that probably I would look to Lori to on a regular basis, she was our animal control or humane officer. She did a fantastic job. I got numerous calls over the years about things that Lori had done to try to make, some of the animal abuse issues better. And Lori was a very practical person. She wasn't just someone who had poor animals. She understood the complexities of the animals, especially horses. She was very good at that, and truly Lori is missed and will be missed. I can say it now. She can come. 75 days left, so she can come back part-time. I was looking for Terry, because you always make sure I don't make that nothing. So Lori knows that. Lori, thank you so much for all of your time, and all you've done for the citizens of Jefferson. Captain Scott, I have to tell you, this is the first time I've seen Dwayne since he retired that he hasn't been in shorts. He made me laugh because he said he rode his motorcycle in with his wife tonight and he said the bugs were bad, so he didn't want him zapping off his legs, so it made sense. Dwayne just recently retired as well. Dwayne actually has been with us for 33 years, almost at 35, 33 years. That's a long time. I was joking when she was reading off the other people. We got up to 16. I was like, oh, they're new. But when we have very dedicated people, they put in their heart and soul. For those of you that know from the law enforcement committee or have been on it over the years, Dwayne actually was one of our captains. Captain Scott served, and he's the only captain since I've been sheriff that has served in all 3 divisions as captain. He served as the jail captain, the administrative captain, patrol captain, and actually when he retired, was back as the jail captain. So Dwayne has an extremely good knowledge of the sheriff's office. Dwayne was a DARE officer involved in many different activities. But to give you kind of an idea, a little bit about Captain Scott. When Captain Scott started, not too many years after I did, He was very motivated to be involved in the community, very much involved. And he would donate his time to do child fingerprinting, go to schools, do all of these types of things. For those of you that are quite old, you might remember the thing Patch the Pony. That was even before my time. But we tried things like that here. Captain Scott was one of those people that led in those areas. That's really something, I guess, to be proud of, because he never lost that sense of what can we do for the community. And Captain Scott, or Citizen Scott, congratulations on all you've done for the citizens of Jefferson County and for the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Sheriff, and congratulations to our retirees. Our final item under communications, in your packet, you'll see the zoning committee notice of public hearing for the meeting scheduled for July 18th, 2019. We now go to public comment. Do we have any registrants? Okay. I believe we do not, but we do have one more communication from our corporation counsel.
As elected county board supervisors, I think most of you know that it's up to you as elected officials to make sure that if you are at any type of educational event in the community, which you receive invitations for quite or somewhat regularly, that it's up to you to make sure that you don't have a quorum of any committee that you're on. If you're on a committee, 5 members, for example, and there's 3 people at this educational event, this training event, then that's a quorum, and then you're at risk of violating the open meetings law. And if you do find yourself in a situation where you are going to or may be going to a type of public event, I'm not talking about a social event or anything like that, I'm talking about an educational event that may relate to your job duties as a county board supervisor, I request that you contact administration, let administration know you're going. We'll make a list of who's going, and if we see any quorums, then we'll reach back to you and let you know that this could be a problem. If something happens where you just show up and you find 2 of your fellow committee members present, then it's up to you to decide which one is going to leave. So keep that in mind. I want to make sure that we all understand that, and violation of the open meetings law is something that can be referred to the district attorney or the attorney general for prosecution. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go to annual reports. Our first report this evening is from Child Support Director Stacy Jensen.
Good evening. I'm Stacy, Director of the Child Support Agency. You have a copy of the 2018 report, so I'll provide you a little bit of information about our services and about a few things that we're focusing on this year. For those of you that may be new, our services are basically, we provide services to establish paternity for children, child support orders, health insurance orders. We locate absent parents, and then we also provide services to enforce the orders once they're established. We have an agency of 12 staff. We have a caseload of about 5,000. And during this last year, we provided those services by attending over 2,500 hearings and appointments. Wisconsin's a leader in the collection of child support. Nationally, we ranked 4th in collection of child support. We only fell below the collection of Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and North Dakota. And our agency actually helped collection on that high ranking by collecting over 82% of current support due. So we did really well. For as long as I can remember, and I've been here for several years, we've always been involved in really big projects, and our staff has always been very, very busy. This year we took a long needed break, and we're not doing any big projects this year. So I have nothing really major to report. So we're focusing this year on our team, our agency, and our staff, our services, and a couple of small projects. So our team, we're focusing on training. We're providing additional training to our staff to focus on retention and engagement. We have a lot of longevity with our staff. My lead worker is going to be starting her 30th year. I've been here about 29 years. So we want to provide the training for our staff so they can enjoy their jobs and be happy providing the services to our customers. We've been making some new trainings available and new topics. some of the new topics and training that we've been made available to our team. Motivational interviewing, domestic violence training, emotional intelligence and leadership training. Our staff deal with customers on a lot of sensitive issues. They deal with family law and stuff like that. Our customers aren't happy when they deal with us. So we figure that additional training that we do provide to our staff is really going to be helpful in making our staff's day they're easier, and also help them have the skills needed to provide the best customer service that they need in dealing daily with the customers. So we think that's real important focus in this year. Also, a small project that we will be also dealing with is this actually starting this month will be electronic document exchange. About 7% of our caseload, we have interstate cases. That means at least one of our customers is out of state. So we actually have no paper files anymore. But with our electronic or interstate cases, we actually have to file paperwork. But starting this month, everything will be electronic. So we'll actually start our training tomorrow, and that will be something new. Considering it's only 7% of our caseload, it's actually a small project that we'll be starting this month. And the last small project that we're actually been focusing on all year is building our partnership with employment and training programs. So we're working with these other programs to partnership with them. So payers of child support have additional employment and training skills and job networking to help them find the jobs that they need, so they have the resources necessary to have the jobs so they can pay their child support. We consider that's a win-win, so we don't have to track them down. They have the job so they can pay their child support, which is only benefit for the parent and the child. So that's kind of what we're going to be involved in this year. We're currently on target to meet all the performance goals again this year. This will be hopefully this will be our 6th year in a row. And that's only possible due to our hard-working staff that we have in the agency and your continued support of our program. So again, thank you for your continued support. If there's any questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, thank you.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
All right, good night.
Our final annual report for this evening is from the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Paul Milbrad. Oh, emergency management, I'm sorry. Can't forget that. Emergency Management Director, Donna Hogan. Sorry about that, I'm kind of focused on getting us out of the heat here.
Whenever there's a disaster, nobody knows. I do also have to tell you, Captain Scott was the liaison with the Sheriff's Office and Emergency Management. And one of the first things he said to me was, I'll be your liaison, but I'm not doing any of your work. But he was a support that I could never work without. So, I've got to talk to Sheriff, find out who my new liaison is going to be, so we can continue our great relationship. I think I've done you a favor. Instead of standing up here and talking about emergency management, I gave you a handout. There are some new faces here. You can read it at your leisure, check it from time to time, and I do believe it's suitable for framing. Just saying. One of the other things that wasn't mentioned in the report is for emergency management, we deal with a great many different agencies and people. We work from families to municipalities, schools, businesses, civic organizations, volunteer organizations, state and federal agencies. So one of the things that I've learned through all my years with emergency management is how to work with them all together. And some of the people, I learned to bob and weave a little bit to try to get people to work together, different agencies to work together, and hopefully at some point in time, when there is something going on, they'll all know each other and they'll be able to work together. It's all part of my Maddie plan. I've also represented on several boards and committees, and I do this because I want Jefferson County or emergency management to be in the forefront of information processes and procedures. So I get to know what's going on first, and I can kind of help lay the groundwork for what other counties are going to be doing, and I really do enjoy that. I don't have any other information for you. I do thank you for letting me to be here today. You're all welcome to come to my office anytime. I am in the sheriff's office, so I truly live in a gated community. And you know, whatever you want to do or whatever you want me to do, I'm sure that I would be able to handle it for you. I want to certainly thank Mr. Waymeyer and the county board for the support that you have provided emergency management over these years. It takes a lot, and from a county board standpoint, there's a lot of stuff that you have to keep track of. So I really do appreciate that. I do especially want to thank the sheriff and the sheriff's office. It was probably one of the best moves taking emergency management and going into the sheriff's office that ever was. They're supportive. They give me a lot, and we work very well together. So I greatly appreciate that. Also, thank you to the Law Enforcement Emergency Management Committee for their guidance and their continued support. And I do also want to thank my program assistant, Nicole Hovren. She's excellent and she's very dedicated. And you know, I found it amazing, but she does everything I tell her to do. So, but I really do enjoy her very much. So, if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
And now our final annual report for this evening, the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Paul Mills-Borath.
Normally Barb would always say you got 10 minutes. You must have felt it was warm enough it would not need a timer. You've all had the annual report for some time. It kind of encapsulates everything. The only thing, if you have questions on it and you're too armed to ask tonight, it's just give me a phone call or call one of the captains or the chief. More than happy to answer anything we can. Try to really keep it as concise as we could in regards to the report. It's a lot of work, more work than you might think to get this out. Our administrative assistant, Jessica Oshesky, actually makes sure that all this gets done in a timely fashion. I think she gets a chuckle out of the fact that she can order captains to get this in because she needs it. But she does a great job for us in getting this report out. A couple of different things I'd like to actually acknowledge this here. Jessica and our bookkeeper, Karen Schmidt, both were honored by the Jefferson County Chiefs and Sheriff Association this past year as support staff of the year. All the work that they put in with getting the Munis system and helping with this Munis system to get it up and running. They really put their hearts and souls in this, and since we tend to probably be the most complex of trying to get all of this in, they really had their hands full because Munis didn't deal with a lot of this stuff before, so we were kind of their test case. The Sheriff's Office at this point, as some of you know, especially those of you that were recently appointed for only one meeting, found out that a lot of transition going on. Transition can be good, and it can be a little confusing as well. We are very fortunate to have the people that have been chosen to replace our captains. The only captain that we have left is Captain Jerry Hofferman, and he will be leaving in about 3 weeks. Losing your three of your upper administration in approximately a month of each other is highly unheard of, but all of them were well at or ready to go with their retirements. But we are fortunate. Tonight I have with me in the back of the room, if you please stand, Captain Don Hunter. Don's been with the Sheriff's Office for quite some time, started out in the jail, patrol, detective, administrative duties. He's taking over now of Captain Wallace. Don's got his plate full because not only is he in charge of getting all of the promotions, he's also in charge of the new hires, and if you kind of look at our annual report, you'll find out we're quite a few people down right now, but that's a national trend. So thank you, Don. Travis Mays is not here tonight, but Travis has been promoted to our patrol captain. And last, but certainly not least, because if I said last, certainly not least, she would never let me forget it, is Detective Margarita Gray. For those of you that didn't know, her real name is Margarita, not Margot. I think a lot of people, when they ask, they have no idea that is her name. It really has no bearing. Margot would be an excellent candidate no matter what, but Margot is the first female captain in Sheriff's Office history. And I expect great things out of all three of these people. They all have a lot of things going on in their respective divisions, and will be taking over, and really, they'll be challenged, but they'll do a good job. Just to let you know, kind of as we look into the future, you all are aware we're in the middle of a communications project. That project has gone out for bid. The RFP is out. So we'll be expecting, hopefully, some competitive bids to come in within the next 90 days in regards to that. That is a big project that will have ramifications and hopefully benefits for the county for many, many years in the future, because it will take us into the digital age, and countywide, for law enforcement, fire, and EMS, it will be a huge boon. Our next biggest issue in reality is personnel. Sheriff's Office, as of today, is 8 people shy of where our numbers would be. It is a difficult issue nationwide to get qualified law enforcement candidates. It's not a job that people are lining up for anymore. The economy is booming. Not a lot of people like the weird hours and mandatory overtime, but we believe that our last list that we just got the numbers back from, that we're going to be able to get we're going to be able to put quite a dent, hopefully, in that shortage that we have. That being said, we've been in contact with the County Administrator Waymeyer, trying to work ourselves back up to the number of staff that we had 10 years ago. Back in the countryside days when we were trying to save costs and everything else, everyone took a hit. Our hit has had bigger ramifications at this point than we would have ever hoped for. But we're going to recover from that. We are talking about trying to put 2 more people in the near future onto the numbers of our staff, which will help alleviate a great deal of our overtime. That as soon as we get everybody up and running, we think that this will make a big difference. So I think everything has kind of been explained in the report, but if not, and you have questions, I'll get out of here before Audrey gives me the poke. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. That concludes annual reports for this evening. We'll now go to committee reports, resolutions, and ordinances. First, the Law Enforcement and Emergency Management Committee, with an ordinance amending the Jefferson County boating ordinance to include additional no-wake areas on the Rock River. Supervisor Lund, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ordinance number 2019. Amending the Jefferson County boating ordinance to include additional no-wake areas on the Rock River. Whereas due to increasing boating and or watercraft use on the Rock River, the Law Enforcement and Emergency Management Committee is recommending that the Jefferson County boating ordinance be amended to establish additional no-wake areas on the Rock River. And whereas this ordinance amendment updates outdated language in the existing Jefferson County boating ordinance and incorporates language from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources model ordinance, and whereas the additional no-wake areas established by this ordinance amendment are intended to provide safe and healthful conditions for the enjoyment of aquatic recreation consistent with public rights and interests in the capability of the water resources on the waters of the Rock River in Jefferson County, now therefore be it ordained that the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors does hereby amend the Jefferson County boating ordinance as follows. I move for adoption as printed with changes.
Moved and seconded to amend the Jefferson County boating ordinance to include additional no-wake areas on the Rock River. Discussion. Supervisor Kelly, please.
Thank you. Section 7, designated slow no-wake areas, it refers to latitude and longitude. It really has no description of where that is. That was confusing to me. It seems to me that you could read this and have no idea where that is. Can somebody correct me on that?
You're saying that it wouldn't be recognizable by the general public?
Correct.
Ms. Hogan, could you please address the question?
There will be buoys out at those particular locations, and there will be permanent buoys. So when people do actually come along, they will see the permanent buoys. They can look at the latitude and longitude, but we couldn't put in the ordinance where buoys would be located. So they're going to have actual slow and awake buoys at the beginning of it and at the end of the slow and awake period.
Which is good. The area they're finding that is.
It is over by the Island Bar on Rock River, Black Hawk Island. He has a lot of piers out onto the water. They extend quite a bit out into the water. He offers gas and other amenities while they're there. A lot of boats park there, and it's very dangerous when people go through there at a higher rate of speed. It's difficult for them to do a boat, so they can have the safety of the boats there.
It's just that same area.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the locations of the additional no-wake area will be clearly marked by buoys. It's located near Black Hawk Island in the area of the Island Bar. The reason for it is that there is considerable boat traffic there presenting a safety issue. So we prefer that the boats slow down in that area. Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance is amended. Now we go to the Planning and Zoning Committee with the report on approval of petitions followed by the ordinance amending the official zoning maps. Supervisor Nast, please.
Report to the members, Jefferson County Board of Supervisors. Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee have considered petitions to amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County filed for public hearing on May 16th and June 20th, 2019 as required by law pursuant to Wisconsin statutes. Notice thereof having been given and being duly advised the wishes of town boards and persons in areas affected, herein makes the following recommendations. Approval of petitions as listed below, dated this date, the 24th of June, 2019, Blaine Paulson, Secretary. Which brings us to ordinance number 5, amending the official zoning maps. I move to amend the maps as printed.
Moved and seconded to amend the official zoning maps as printed. Supervisor Kennard, please.
I will abstain for potential conflict of interest.
Thank you. Again, moved and seconded to amend the official zoning maps as printed. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance is amended. Is there any public comment of a general nature? Would anybody like to address the board this evening? Seeing none, are there any announcements? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. Is there any objection? We're adjourned. Thank you.